Hello and welcome back to Web Demystified. In the previous video, we learned how to include a CSS file in the base template. In this video, we'll continue building upon that and improve the overall appearance of our website. To improve the appearance of our website, we will add some more styles. First, we will modify the header element to display the menu and the title of the store on the same line. To do so, we can use the display property with flex value. Display flex. Now let's save this and refresh the page. Now our title and menu on the same line. Display flex property allows us to combine multiple elements in a row or a column. And next, we will apply styles to the menu. First, we want to arrange the menu items in a row and add some spacing between them. We can do this by using this syntax. By using this syntax, we can select only the UL tag that is a direct child of the nav tag. This is useful when we have multiple UL or any other tags on the page, and we want to select only one of them. So, display flex. Now let's save this and refresh the page. As you can see, our menu is now in one straight line. Also, let's add here margin equals to 0 and same for padding, and refresh the page to delete these gaps. Also, we want to delete these bullet points. To do so, let's use the same syntax and list style type set to none. Now let's save this and refresh the page. As you can see, now there is no bullet points. Also, here we can add padding equals to 10 pixels and 30 pixels, where 10 pixels is top and bottom spacing and 30 pixels left and right spacings. This will allow us to add spacings between our links. Now let's save this and refresh the page. Now, as you can see, there is more spacing between the buttons. Also, we can try to center our content here. Yes, let's center. Okay. And to properly align the menu items, we need to apply the display flex property to the nav tag. Display flex. And as you can see, nothing changed because we also need flex direction, column, and justify content center. Now, as you can see, our online store title and links are in the same straight line. And now we want to center our online store title. To do so, we can create a header with h1 tag. And let's try to align the text in the center. Now let's save this and refresh the page, and nothing happened. This is happening because the box of h1 tag has minimal width to fit the content inside it. So, to fix this, we can use the flex grow with value1 property. This property allow the h1 tag to expand and fill the remaining space. Now let's save this and refresh the page. As you can see now, box of h1 tag is much bigger, and our title is now centered in this box. Also, let's add some font weight here. Font weight, for example, 500, and let's refresh the page. It will be a bit more light. Now let's add the background and the shadow to our header. To do so, let's add background color, F8, yeah, something like that, and box shadow property with 0, -1 pixel, 6 pixels, and hashtag 222 dark gray color values. The first value represents the horizontal offset. The second value represents the vertical offset in the box shadow property. The third value represents the blur radius. And the fourth represents the color of the shadow. Now let's save this and refresh the page. Now, as you can see, our online store header has its own shadow and background color. But also, I want to delete these gaps. To do so, in the body tag, let's create margin and set it to 0, and also let's do this to padding. And refresh the page, and our header snaps to the top of the page. Now, in the same way, let's style the footer. Let's copy this and open curly brackets, just paste this inside. But we will change this property to just 1. And also I want to add padding equals to 20. No, it will be later. Now let's save this and refresh the page. As you can see, our footer has background color and shadow as well, but it is too short. Now let's create a padding equals to 20 pixels. I want to be header and the footer to be equal. And now, as you can see, our footer and the header are roughly the same size. So, and to ensure that our footer remains at the bottom of the page, we can make a few adjustments. First, we need to add to our HTML tag height equals to 100%. This sets the height of the HTML element to the 100% of the viewport height. And next, let's add minimum height here equals to 100% as well. Minimum height property ensures that the body element is at least 100% of the screen height. Also, we need to add display grid here and grid template rows with auto, 1 fraction, and auto. Now let's save this and refresh the page. As you can see, our footer snaps to the bottom of the page. The display grid property allows us to create a grid layout for the body element. And since we are using a grid layout here, which is a newer feature in CSS, all new browsers can handle it, but old ones can't. If you want to make sure all browsers can display your site correctly, you should use Flexbox. But if you are aiming for a general audience, using a grid layout is fine. It will work for 98% of users. But to make sure that your website looks good in all browsers, you can use the caniuse.com website. We will discuss caniuse.com in the next video, so stay tuned. Grid template rows property defines the rows of the grid with auto for the header and the footer, and one fraction for the main content area. And now let's continue working on the header. To remove underscores from the links, we can add the text decoration property to the A tag. Header, nav, well, list item, A, text, text decoration, none. Let's save this and refresh the page. As you can see, there is no more underscores. And also let's change color of the links to dark gray. Furthermore, we can enhance the styling of the links by adding a hover effect. By adding con hover, hover, and color equals to 999, for example, the color of the links will change when the user hovers over them. So let's save this and refresh the page and see it for ourselves. Everything is working great. Now let's move on to the main content area. First of all, we need to add div wrapper here. Main wrapper and close div here. Also let's now let's add here main wrapper and add display flags in it and justify content center to center our content. And also let's restrict the width of the main content area to 800 pixels. Max width 800 pixels in these properties. Now let's save this and refresh. And everything is working now and looking great. But if we resize the window or open it on a mobile device, we can see that the menu is not working properly. To fix this problem, we can use the media queries. Media queries are a powerful tool that allows us to apply CSS styles depending on a device's general type or other characteristics, such as screen resolution or browser viewport width. Every selector in media queries overrides the earlier defined selector if the condition is satisfied. In our case, if the screen width is less than 600 pixels. So let's add media queries. Media, screen, and max width 600 pixels. And first of all, let's fix the problem with the menu items. As you can see, our menu items located in the left part of the header and our title located in the right part of the header. I want to locate them in one column, menu items on top, and the title on the bottom. To do so, let's override the header and add flex direction property with column value. Now let's save this and refresh the page. Now let's delete this big gap. Let's shrink it, to be exact. To do so, we can override the header h1 selector and add margin property inside it with 0, 0, 10 pixels and 0. The first value represents the top margin. The second value represents the right margin. The third value represents the bottom margin. And the fourth, the left margin. And now let's see our website on a mobile device. As you can see, we still have a problem. To fix this problem, we can add the meta tag in the base.html file, in the head of the base.html file. Meta name viewport content width equals device width and initial scale equals to 1.0. This line of HTML code, specifically the meta tag with name viewport and the content attribute, controls how the web page is displayed on the different devices, particularly on the mobile devices. Width equals to device width sets the width of the viewport to the width of the device's screen. This means the web page will adjust to the specific width of the device it's being viewed on. And initial scale equals to 1.0 sets the initial zoom level when the page is first loaded. A value of 1.0 means the page will be displayed at its actual size without any zooming applied. So now let's save this and refresh the page. Now, as you can see, our website working properly and looking great, even on a mobile device. So, last but not least, let's add a new font. First of all, let's use import URL. And let me copy the link first. We will use the Montserrat font. Now let's add our font to font family property. Montserrat. Now let's save this and refresh the page. As you can see, font changed. And now our online store looking great and beautiful, and also working properly on a mobile device and on a PC. So, in the next video, we will discuss the caniuse.com website, box model, and the basic concept of CSS. Thank you for watching and stay tuned.